I'm not going to lie, your boy is a bit tuckered out this week. But that doesn't mean that I can't bring you hilarious, hate-filled content to watch on your Saturday evening. That's what I do. That's what I'm about. Going to be needing that one today. Ugh. Oh, caffeine god. Curse my old man body. I'm currently looking after my folks' place because they're on a well-deserved holiday. And I figured I'm too tired to go out, but that doesn't mean I can't do something, okay? I'm in a salty mood, my back hurts, I'm tired. And that's the perfect setting, actually, for going through this, because we're going to go through terrible, terrible album covers, artwork, that is. I'm going to be flitting between well-known and lesser-known albums, but one thing that all of these have in common, the artwork is absolutely atrocious. That doesn't mean that the music on the albums is bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not here to slag off the music, but Jesus Christ. Anyway, we're going straight into this one with a heavy hitter. This is a well-known band. This is a well-known album. All of you are expecting this one on this. It's Iron Maiden with Dance of Death. Now, the reason I'm putting this one first, there's a lot of these other artists that you could excuse because maybe it was the first album, budget restraints, all this sorts of thing. This is Iron Maiden. I think what pisses me off the most about this one is not only is the artwork terrible, but Iron Maiden are a band renowned for fantastic artwork. How many times have you heard somebody tell the story of how the first time they heard Iron Maiden, it was because they went into a record store and they picked up the album purely on the strength of the artwork? Derek Riggs, his classic albums, the debut, Killers. I mean, I could go on. There's plenty of other albums that I could mention, but Jesus Christ. Iconic album covers. How many of your favourite musicians, how many musicians who would go on to form the thrash bands, the death metal bands, the prog metal bands that would define metal going forward? Our favourite bands picked up Iron Maiden albums purely because of the artwork. What the fuck is this? This CG bullshit. It's just awful. You've got a baby in a bikini with a mask balancing on a dog. This was okayed. The band, management, marketing, everybody came together and went, oh yeah, that's the one. Really? There's nothing else? No? We no? Fucking shit. So if this Reddit post that I'm looking at is anything to go by, then apparently what actually happened was the artist originally just presented the album cover with Eddie on. And apparently management and the band said that the album cover looked too empty. So then the artist put in some just a rough draft of the other CGI characters, kind of thinking, well, I guess a concept. And apparently the management and the band said, yeah, that's the cover we want. Then apparently the artist requested not to be credited, which is fair enough. Whether that's actually what happened or not, but Jesus fucking Christ, Iron Maiden. Oh, it's just awful. It really is terrible. No way I couldn't not include this on the list. Iron Maiden, renowned for incredible artwork. They went with this. It's just awful. It's just absolutely terrible. I know it was, a sign of the times. There was a lot of videos being done around this time as well with this kind of computer-generated shit, and it's just aged terribly. It was bad then. Ugh. Okay, next up, we've got Snow White with Act of God. Now, this album came out in 1988. This is a thrash band, an American thrash band. I was listening to some of their music earlier on. It's decent enough thrash. I wouldn't say it's, mind melting, but it's some decent enough stuff. Decent enough snuff. Speaking of snuff, so you've got a grandma, overexposed, lighting wise, that is, holding an 8-ball. I don't know if that's a reference to a drug reference, maybe. I don't know. On a beach. I don't know what's going on here. Is like I said, is the 8-ball, is that a drug reference? Is this like a metaphor? Is this temptation from an ugly fuck? No offence to her, love. There's a lot to unpack here. I don't really know what I'm looking at. It's kind of creeping me out. I kind of want to move on because the image is kind of, she's looking at me now. The more I look at it, actually, the more evil it gets. Maybe I got this wrong. Maybe this actually is one of the darkest covers that we've actually ever seen. Yeah, I'm moving on to the next one. Number 3, Black Sabbath, Paranoid. Now, I know a lot of you would probably go with Born Again. I actually find that album cover kind of creepy. I think it has a suitable demonic vibe to it. So I'm not gonna put that one in. Monster. Now, I absolutely adore Sabbath, and this album is an absolute classic, rightly so. Every song, it's a perfect album. I love this album. But what the fuck? Now, I know the history behind this one. Originally, the album was going to be called War Pigs, which is what this is supposed to represent. It's supposed to be a war pig, or an early version of what they were trying to do with it. But the record label were very concerned about how Vietnam vets would, take to it, which is fair enough, I guess. And Paranoid, the single, was actually doing really well both in the UK and the States, so they just decided to name it after the song. But nobody actually bothered telling the artist who went ahead and did this. Now, the band weren't happy with this either. So you've got a cover representing War Pigs, but you've got the album being called Paranoid. So it's like, well, what does this have to do with anything? No matter which way you look at it, because there's probably some people who stand up for this album go, well, actually, it's a good album cover. No matter which way you look at it, it's basically a kind of a nerdy looking bloke in tights and a helmet waving a sword in a forest at night. I mean, this has got major D&D incel vibes. There's no way I can look at that and take it seriously. I'm not like, oh, it's a war pig. How are we going to protect everybody? It's fucking shit. Next pick. I've actually, for this one time, we're moving away from metal. Just for this one. There's no way I couldn't include it on here. It's Cory Feldman, Angelic to the Core. Now, I ain't having a go at Cory Feldman. Alright? If you've turned up on this channel expecting me to diss Feldman, head off, mate. Head off, because it ain't going to happen here. But this is some pretty horrific artwork. When was this? 2016. Now, I'm sure Cory's not making the sort of money that he used to make or that he wants to make, but surely somebody could have come up with more than this. What I find really fascinating with this, I spent a couple of hours, honestly, this morning, I spent a couple of hours looking on Google trying to get a real high-res version of this. And this is all I could find. Like, no matter what, this was the highest quality version I could find. It's just terrible. It's just pixelated to all hell. So I can't help but feeling the actual original artwork was rendered at an incredibly low resolution. I mean, it's a terrible image anyway. The type, the fonts, oh God, it's absolutely awful. Cory's just kind of being brought up through hell, I guess. I don't know. Wow. The idea that one of the finest guitarists of my generation, let's be honest, I mean, he's a bit older than me, I'm sure, but, has to resort to this. Bad times. Okay, back to it. Another one that you're all expecting. It's Pantera with Metal Magic. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Projects in the Jungle. What was the other one? I Am the Night. Both equally terrible. But this one is something special, is it not? D. Leatherman. Back in 83. This one kind of reeks of... This is almost like a friend. When a friend asks you your opinion on something and it's shit. And you kind of don't want to tell them. What do you think it is? It's good, isn't it? Well, that's good, that. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Is this one of those things where they just didn't have the heart to tell a friend? A friend presented them with the artwork. Is this one of those things where they just, maybe we should say no, but we don't want to hurt our friends' feelings. Yeah, but we're going to be left with this for the rest of our lives. If we just tell him now, he'll hurt his feelings, but it's done. It'll be over. Maybe we're doing him a favour. Just go, I ain't got the heart to do it. It's awful. It really is awful. Right, now we're moving on to a band I'm not hugely familiar with, Riot. Restless Breed. Let's have a listen. Let's have a listen to some Riot. To be fair, looking through their discography, they've got some pretty bad artwork early on. Now, I was looking at this. I'm not too familiar with Riot, to be honest with you. It's one of those bands. I know the name, and I know I should have heard it. Let's have a quick listen. Damn, that monster's kicking in. All right, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Maybe I should check out some Riot. But based on album covers, I can see why I haven't. So, apparently, yes, over the course of their first few albums, Riot had a dandelion-headed mascot named Tior, which is Riot spelt backwards. Very clever. Apparently this one appears to be some sort of an origin story. So, Brooklyn Elementary School, so they obviously went in Brooklyn. Brooklyn represent, DFL, Biohazard and all that. Can't help imagining is this where, like, Brutal Truth got the idea for their album cover from? Obviously a much better done version. Jesus Christ, this is terrible. What's going on with the moon in the background there as well? That's Tior as well, is it? Looking over everybody. So I get, is it a werewolf type thing? Is it the beast within? I'm getting it now. All right, I'm feeling it now. Do you know what? Maybe I've been too harsh on this. I kind of want to listen to Riot now. That's what happens when you're older. I have to drink these energy drinks at 9:30 in the morning because otherwise I won't sleep. So anyway, I can get through this video, and now I want to listen to Riot. Jesus Christ, I'm a mess. I'm an absolute mess. Right, moving on to another well-known one. Megadeth, Killing Is My Business. This is pretty poor, is it not? Now, I like this album. I do love a lot of the early Megadeth stuff. The title track in particular is so damn good. God damn that opening riff. Whew. But yeah, this is pretty bad, isn't it? It's really... I'm pretty sure I remember reading an interview with Mustaine where it might have been in his biography actually, where he was talking about getting the cover artwork for this and just being like, ugh. They obviously was, Vic Rattlehead is their, it's their Eddie. And they wanted to have something with that same effect. I guess they wanted you to look at the Megadeth cover the same way that you would have done those early Iron Maiden albums. Well, most Iron Maiden albums, not Dance of Death, obviously, but most of them are fantastic covers, aren't they? And this is not giving that effect, is it? I mean, the supposed metal on the front there, is that metal? Is that just painted cardboard? You've got the hooks there put in the mouth. It just looks... Ugh. Again, budget restraints. I get all of that sort of stuff. You've got there was the deluxe version, wasn't there, that was redone. I think it's art. I can't remember if it was Dave Mustaine who did the artwork actually drawn on. Pardon me, Jesus. Yes, have a look at the original artwork actually. Killing Is My Bussiness. I'm not trying to shout out Amazon, by the way. It's just this was the first one that came on. See, that album cover, that looks way better. I like that. I really do like that. That's actually pretty cool. If they'd have come out with that, I think that would have had a much more desirable effect. But, this, what the fuck? I mean, I suppose it is eye-catching. It's memorable. There is that. It is memorable. You can't deny that. But, Jesus. It's not good, is it? It's really not. Okay, moving on to another band that I'm not actually aware of. Well, we'll get into it. So this is Fire Axe with Victory or Death. And this was 2003. So that was the same year as Dance of Death. I mean, to be fair, I suppose, when you actually consider... This is actually a one-man band. This is a guy who just does... Brian Voth. I've not actually heard any of his stuff. There's not on Spotify or anything like that. I didn't look that much, to be honest. But I feel a bit bad giving this guy too much shit. If nothing else, maybe some of you guys can go and check this out. Apparently, this is a compilation of some of his other stuff. But, my God, there's what's going on here. I mean, it's fucking awful. Victory or death? Death, please. That's the kind of sharp thinking you get on a Saturday morning. Is it meant to be, represent fire? I suppose it was Fire Axe, isn't it? But at first I thought that was reflections on the armour, but I think there's actually stuff painted on the armour. It's just awful, isn't it? It really is terrible. I mean, this is done in, Paint, is it? Or is that, I can't remember the application it was. Windows Paint. It's just terrible. It really is fucking awful. He doesn't look heroic either. Well, he has that kind of a, you know, that lord kind of look about him, you know what I mean? He comes from money. This doesn't seem like a battle-hardened warrior. This seems like kind of somebody who's been very much brought up with real privilege. I'm looking way too much into this. It's just a terrible piece of artwork. It really is. Absolutely fucking awful. Next up, Slayer. Show No Mercy. I love Slayer. Adore Slayer. And I love Show No Mercy. There's some fucking great stuff on here. Black Magic is still one of my favourite Slayer songs. Got the iconic logo there. See, this is one of those things where you've got the pentagram there with Slayer, and, you know, I kind of like that aspect of it. But then you got the Baphomet. Is it Baphomet? I think it's Baphomet. It's just not good, is it? It really isn't good. I could have easily put Anthrax Fistful of Metal. I'm surprised I didn't choose that, actually, because that is fucking woeful. But this is pretty bad. I think what gets me about... I think what gets me about this, when you get to iconic stuff like Rain in Blood, I mean, that, you know, those nightmarish covers, this kind of doesn't represent... I've only just noticed he's got, like, Slayer on his belt as well. That takes it down even more. So, you know, he's a Slayer fan. Yay, Slayer. It's not a good look. It really isn't. Again, is this kind of the friend, you know, gifting the artwork? It's like, hey, yeah, I've done some artwork for you. Oh, God. Maybe this is the sort of thing that makes a band stronger. They look back and it goes, we're never doing that again. We're never doing that again. Awful. And the last one for today's episode is Greek Metlers, Marauder, with Sense of Metal. Now, I think what gets me about this one, this was 1997. You know, if this was in the 80s, you know, there were a lot of bands kind of doing that sort of stuff. That really, this is the best that they could come up with in 1997. Think of some of the iconic artwork we had coming out in 1997. Burn My Eyes, you had Demanufacture. Others. Think of the Sepultura covers, my God. Arise, Chaos AD. All of which were years before this. This came out in 1997. Wow. Everything about it is 80s. And not good 80s. This is just... wow. Not even that monster is getting me through this. I'm already... I had a bit of an upswing earlier on. But I think just going through this artwork is just... oh, my God. It's just depressing as fuck. Look at that. Sense of Metal, is it? Sense of Metal, or more like sense of... I think that'll do for today. I'm not proud of this one either. I'll bet you this will probably be one of my most popular videos. Look, state of this. Couldn't be bothered. Still can't. And, you know, actually, now that I think back on it, I'm not apologetic about it. Fuck it. Looking at this artwork, maybe looking like this is apt. Do you know what I mean? This is me at my worst. This is these bands at their worst. That's how it goes. Yeah, all right, yeah. Poetry, not poetry, emotion, innit? Poet, fucking... that's doing nothing. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking old. I feel like shit. I'll see you next time. Jesus, fuck off. Not Jesus, he's all right.